Welcome to Brighten Your Corner Ministry. My name is Cindy Ann Lewis Walcott, and we are studying life lessons from the Holy Bible. You don't have to be religious, these lessons are for holistic living. Today's lesson can be found in Genesis chapter 27, verses 5 to 30. It is a lesson in, I basically call it, end planning is a confidential matter. So in the lesson before we studied that it's good to plan for the end. It's something we all should do. Now we're still studying Isaac and he is planning for the end, but because of his age, he's waited too long. His inability to see, and even probably he's probably having difficulty hearing, I would say, because now he spoke so loudly that his wife Rebecca heard. And if you had read earlier, you would have seen that Isaac loved Esau and Rebecca loved Jacob. So now Rebecca overheard Isaac's end plan, the plan he's planning to bless Esau. And she, she knows Esau is the firstborn, so he is supposed to get that blessing. But because she loves Jacob, she goes ahead and creates a plan to deceive her husband. And that is why it's a very long story, and I would like you to read it yourself, and you would see. And that's why I said end planning should be a confidential thing. So you have to know, don't wait too long, and you have to know who is going to write your will for you, or who you're going to make this arrangement with. I've heard millions of stories from people choosing the wrong kind of law firm or lawyer to represent them, and the lawyer went in and installed his name also in their will, or choosing a doctor who took everything, or a charity who committed some kind of funny business. And so you have to know who you have to have confidence. You have to trust the person or the firm um, who is going to help you arrange for your end planning. Um, some people use family members, and family members, as we see here, have preferences. So they might sneak a word or two into the person who they think you should leave your estate to, or your final preparations, your departing preparations too. And so they might snake somebody and cause some funny business to happen. So end planning should be a confidential thing. It should be somebody you trust, or a firm that you trust, that's professional in the way you're doing it. Or if you're like me, I do it myself. I have a professional one, but I also do the updates myself. And I have it, although I said where it was, but nobody could really find it. Except I told a friend at work, my union steward, if anything should happen to me, that's where it is. So I created this a confidential. I know my union steward has no interest in my family affairs, and I trust him very much. So he has instructions as to what to do, or where to look. um, as I get older, I have one in the safety deposit box also, but if I die, my kids have no access to that safety deposit box. So there are ways to keep your plan, your will confidential. I don't have all the ways right now because I'm not thinking, I can't think that wide right now, but people are very creative in terms of keeping their will or their end plan confidential. So don't wait too long that you don't know really who you're talking to in the end. You're in the hospital and you just want to make sure it's done. So you call the nearest nurse, or the nearest doctor or whoever is there, and said, help me do this. If you wait too late, you invite deception, as the story tells us here. And I think the deception came, most people say it's part of God's plan. It was God had all this arranged. I can't say that here. I'm really just seeing what it is. I'm not gonna try and speculate as to what what it should be. I don't think that's the way God meant it to be, although he said, you know, the younger will rule the older. I think he had a plan. But as we've seen so far, from Adam right down to Abraham and Isaac, they go ahead and hatch their own plan out. They don't wait for God's plan to take effect in their life. So I think that's Rebecca hatching her own plan here. I don't think that's the way God wanted it. Even if God had a plan for that to happen, I don't think it was in this deceptive way. I don't think that's the way. So I can't say, I wouldn't raise this argument here for or against. All I'm seeing here is that Isaac waited too long. He waited until he couldn't see properly to decide to make his will. And because he waited too long, he got deceived. He didn't know who was listening, and he couldn't see who was coming to him for the blessing. So don't wait too long, and make sure you know who is preparing your will or your attorney, power of attorney papers and so on. Make sure you have confidence in them. Make sure they're professionals. That is all I have to say for this. Please consider making plans, taking steps towards making a will and preparing for your end. Have a good day now. Remember to give me a thumbs up. I just saw a bird. Share and subscribe. Take good care now. Bye-bye. Have a great day.